and today we are solving a new problem of Leetcode, and the problem is simply to find the index of first occurrence in a string. So we are given two strings, one called needle and one called haystack, and we want to return the index of first occurrence of needle string in the haystack, or return -1 if the needle stack is not in the haystack. That's the problem. So if you look at an example, that might make it even more clear. So the input, if haystack is sad but sad and needle is sad, the output is 0 because sad is, as you can see, in the 0th position, and the output is 0. So that's the problem, and we'll be solving this problem in two different approaches. One is less efficient, but it gets the idea how to solve this problem. So for the first solution, I've written this in Sublime so that I can run this better. So you can see the first line is simply we're finding the length of both haystack and needle. After that, we have a loop. It's an outer loop, and we also have an inner loop. The outer loop is looping through each character in haystack. So if haystack was sad but sad, so it is iterating through each one of those characters. But as you can see, we are not looping through all the characters in haystack. We are looping from using I as an index, and we are using having the I value go from 0 all the way to n minus m plus 1. Now we have this because you know that after, let's say, I don't want to check at the position of A and D in this haystack characters, because I know that needle is never going to be fit after these positions. So we want to only loop up to this S position, right? We want to loop through this, and to do that we have this n minus m plus 1. Let's just visualize what n minus m plus 1 is. In this case, n is 9 because there are 9 characters in sad but sad, and m is 3, which is obvious. Now if you just do 9 minus 3, it is already 6. So let's just first see what's the 6th position in this haystack. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at 6th position there is this S character, and that's exactly where we want to end. That's the position of the character where we want to last compare. But if we do range of 6, it is going to be the I is going to have values from 0 to 5 and not 6. So we want to add add 1 so that I will have value from 0 all the way to 6. That's the reason we have this n minus m plus 1. Inside that we have initialized a new list called matches, and this inner loop is used to iterate through needle characters. So inside the inner loop, you can see that we're comparing haystack and needle characters. We're comparing haystack at position I plus j and needle at position j. So initially both I and j are 0. So what we are really doing here is that we're comparing character of haystack at position 0, which is simply s, and we are comparing that with a needle at position also 0. So we're comparing s with s. So these are both equal, so this is going to be true boolean, which is appended in the matches. Similarly, if I take a look at the second iteration of this inner loop, what's happening is that haystack at position 1, which is A, is being compared with A of needle, and similarly D is being compared with D, and all these are appended to matches. And after this inner loop is complete, we are checking if all the values in the list are true. If that's the case, we know that's a match. So we want to return the position I, which is 0, to be the first occurrence of that needle in the haystack. And if there is no matches found anywhere, then we want to return -1, which is expected. So let's run our program to verify that. So if we run this, you can see our output is 0 because at 0 position we are seeing sad. Similarly, if I just remove sad can see it's outputting 5 because at position 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have another sad. But if I also remove this sad, this should return -1, which is as expected. So that's the first solution, and let's run this solution in our Leetcode. So if you can copy that. Alright, let's run it and submit it. As you can see, the runtime, we are slow. It took 3 milliseconds, and we are much slower than the most of the people. So our second solution is going to speed this up. So our second solution, let me just copy the solution and bring it to Sublime. Our second solution looks something like this. So the first line is very same, but in the second line we are generating substrings. What we are doing here is inside this list comprehension, we are looping I from 0 all the way to n minus m plus 1, just like what we did earlier, but we are creating substrings. You can see we are slicing the haystack from ith position to I plus m. So this is a substring which has a length equal to needle, and if I just print this substring, that might make things much simpler and to understand. If I run this, you can see we are creating a substring. So in this case, we are creating a substring of 3 characters. This is the first 3 character. That's our first substring. The second character is that we are shifting our substring by 1, and dbt is the second one, but is the third one, uts is the second last, and the last one is tsa. Which after generating this substring, we want to then compare each one of those substring with the needle. To do that, we have another loop, but this is not a nested loop just like the earlier one. This is just the second loop, and we are looping through substring, and we have j as the index of this substring to make sure that we have that on track, and s is this a single substring, and we are comparing that substring with the needle. If that is a match, we know this is the position we want to return. If there is no match, we do want to return -1, just like earlier. So if I run this, we have -1 because there is no sad. If I just add a here, then it should return 0, and if I add d at the end, this should return 5, and that's as expected. In fact, the solution can be made more tidier. I have written this solution which is more tidy in nature. I have not initialized any substring as a variable here. All I'm doing is looping, and just like earlier, and I'm comparing this substring directly with the needle and returning I as the index. This is much cleaner approach. So I'm going to use this in our Leetcode, hopefully making our solution a bit more faster. Let's see, let's submit it. Yes, it did make our solution much faster. As you can see, we have completed the solution in 0 millisecond. So that's the solution for this Leetcode problem. Thank you for watching.